Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of The Brave Traveler. I'm your host, IR. Today, I had a interesting exchange with an Indian fellow, customer service from Amazon. To make some money, I'm trying to get rid of some of my beloved objects that I don't actually need. For example, I have the special edition God of War statue. It's not really a statue, but it's called a statue. I don't know how this happened, but I've experienced it once before when I was a teenager and I was insanely into Spawn and collecting everything Spawn. I had everything from the comic books to every single fucking toy that Todd McFarlane put out there, even the shitty ones. And yes, there are some shitty ones. And I had them. At first, I used to play with them. I thought they looked amazing. And then I became a stupid collector where I wouldn't even remove them from the package. Uh, so my room at one point looked like a fucking store. And I even bought the fucking statue, the first ever McFarlane statue. And I think it came out around the same time that the movie did. And I thought, whoa, this is my first bust, my first actual statue. And of course, if you've ever seen a statue, you know it's made out of some sort of rock material, mud, whatever, clay, hardened clay, right? Not these statues. Um, but I don't know the definition of statue. I guess apparently it means anything as long as it's big. Because these are clearly made out of plastic. It's molded plastic shaped out like an action figure, no different than an action figure, just much bigger. And it kind of resembles, you know, a statue, a bust, where it's just the shoulders and above. But I felt a little cheated. This big giant thing, and it's not even an actual statue. I mean, it counts, apparently. Okay, so I have a God of War special edition. I think it's from the God of War 2018 game. And it looks cool as fuck. I mean, it's amazing. I wouldn't call it a statue. I would call it a special edition action figure. But it's called a statue, so whatever. I love it. Do I need it? No. So I want to sell shit like that. I have a bunch of amiibos. I love them, but I don't need them. Anyways, so I thought, okay, I'll sell them on Amazon, eBay, Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever. And I started this seller's account about a month ago, and I wanted the individual account. This was not made very clear. To my knowledge, I never had an option. So your option, and it's scammy. It's very tricky. When you're on regular Amazon, let me see if I can click on this. Okay, right at the top right corner, where it says your name, hello, and account and list, you're gonna let the drop down menu, and you're gonna go to where it says start a selling account. Although right underneath it says register for. No, that's not it. See? There's nowhere. There is no fucking option. So you click on start a selling account. And there's all this bullshit lots and lots to scroll through. It says that, hey, you can get the individual one for free. Oh, okay. But they hide it. So where the fuck is the free one? I don't know. I guess be prepared to do a lot of reading, because the first thing you're going to see is the button that says sign up. You click on that, hoping that it's going to take you to something you actually want. And then you just sort of follow the instructions. When you realize, because it keeps telling you, we're going to charge you 40 fucking dollars. Oh, excuse me, $39.99. And you don't want that. So you click on the top right corner where it says help. And eventually, after jumping through many hoops of like, does your problem have to do with this? Which one of these does it have to do with? And if it's none of them, you just fucking say it's none of them. That's an option a little lower. And then you can choose to talk to somebody by email, where they can dick you around in a long period of time. Or you can choose chat now, where they can dick you around in a shorter period of time. Uh, those are your only options. If you want something more coherent, you'll go for the call. That'll be a lot better. Um, I went for the chat, for the dick me around quickly option, and that's what I got. I kept saying I want an individual account. I'm not like a major seller or anything. I don't need the professional one. So, you know, don't charge me your $39.99. I'm not going to use that. In fact, I'm not even using the fucking seller's account because of this issue. Could you just waive that fee and maybe, downgrade me to the individual account? Because that's what I want. So the stupid soulless puppet basically messages me back, says, I can't do that. You have to do that. So I find some time finally to research the fuck out of it. I downgrade to the individual account. And then for some reason, it has me registered in 3 different countries, basically all of North America. And which I didn't even ask for. I wasn't given an option for that. But it says, oh, you can't downgrade in this country. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I straight up said to the guy, this seems like a scam. This seems like a motherfucking scam. I mean, why is it so hard? Why was it made so hard to have that option, professional or individual? Obviously, whoever controls the puppets and the mascots don't think that Bezos is the head of it all. Please. uh it's such a scammy fucking thing. And I remember the same thing happened to me about 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago? A really long time ago. I actually tried selling some shit on Amazon, and I hated the experience compared to like eBay. I'm not saying eBay is like something to like make a party over, but they seem less dickish, less asshole-ish. Like, Amazon tries to pretend that they're very professional, and they're not. eBay is sort of chillax about it. It's like, we get it. People are selling their used shit. It's fine. Whereas Amazon really wants to like pretend like, oh, we're just so above it all. And it's like, fuck you, piece of shit. Anyways, it took me a really long time to finally get a fucking conclusion. Eventually, they kept saying to me, well, we can't refund you. You have to give us your bank account. I'm like, but the charge is still there saying it's pending. Why should I add a motherfucking bank account when you haven't gotten rid of the charge. I see it, and you're telling me just just add the bank account. I'm like, do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be charged. And like, I can't deposit a refund until you add a bank account. They haven't even charged me yet. You understand? And then they said to me like, we won't charge you. There's gonna be no charge. And I had a bank account, and there's a charge. There's a $39.99 charge. I noticed today. Cocksucking motherfuckers. Oh man. So of course I messaged back, and this time I I picked the call option so I could speak to somebody. And and it was an Indian person, very nice Indian person, who heard me out and flat out just said to me, we can't do the refund right now. We have to wait until October 30th. Then you call us back and we can refund you. What the fuck? I mean, I had to say it. I had to say, like, this is very strange. Why why not now? And of course he gives me an explanation that doesn't make any sense unless you work for fucking Amazon, because they're kind of programmed to logic shit out with their own logic, not with actual logic. It is a scam. It's a scam. They don't know because they have to pump out the same answers time after time, to the point where even they themselves start seeing how it all makes sense, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, I mean, there's no logical reason for me messaging them for since September 10th, September 11th. I've been messaging them, hey, I need some help. I want the individual one. And they would say to me like, oh, we can't do that. You have to do it yourself, but you can't do it until you finish the whole registering shit. I finished the whole registering shit. Then they're like, uh, oh, well, we can't do that until you add a bank account where we can deposit your refund. All that ended up happening is they just fucking where I added the account number for the depositing method, they just charge it there. Scumbags. It's been a really long time that I've disliked Amazon. I don't like that they are constantly listening. I don't like that. I disconnect the fucking echo. I don't like any of these companies that are constantly listening or holding pictures. Like Google Photos, I found out that there was a picture that I had erased many years ago, and I had to like erase a bunch of pictures, and then all of a sudden I noticed there's a picture of me and an ex, not in a, not doing things that I would want the public to see, and I felt like, what the fuck? I had erased every copy of this in my possession and in Google Photos, and then all of a sudden there it is. And I clicked on it just to confirm that it was never erased, and then all of a sudden I get a, we're sorry, this is no longer available, or some bullshit like that. But it was enough for me to realize that, oh, okay, they held on to it. So maybe it is like Vibes of Cosmos showed in one of their videos, where the information is actually stored in literal clouds, which is fucking amazing and crazy. And I'm not a chemist, so, but it gets me really interested in learning more about chemistry and seeing how that's possible. But I mean, like everything else, I guarantee but the more you study about one thing or another, it's going to be embedded with bullshit. It's not going to be the chemistry of 100 years ago or the physics of 100 years ago. You know, it's going to be updated, modified to bullshit standards. And I feel the same way of all the noble academic studies. They're not noble anymore. Math is edited, chemistry is edited, physics is just fucking stupid. I mean, it used to be brilliant at one point in time, and now it's just fucking dumb. I would love to just sort of cancel my Amazon because honestly, what do I really get out of it? I don't watch Prime Video. I don't give a fuck about their stuff. It doesn't interest me whatsoever. And then they introduce that horseshit thing about like, well, now we have commercials. Yeah, you got to pay extra if you want to get rid of the commercials. Fuck you. Fuck you. I mean, honestly, even if you think like Fallout wasn't that bad, which I haven't really seen. I saw part of the first episode. It didn't interest me. I mean, after watching that fucking 5 hour documentary on Freemasons on YouTube and then seeing all the logos that they used and they're scattered everywhere, including that new show Fallout, I just kind of felt like, no thanks. And then hearing the stupid shit. The character's name is Lucy. That's Lucifer. And then what was the number on their bunker? Whatever. Um, I don't know. I I might be interested in watching it, but then it's another political bullshit about how, well, women can do everything better than men, so that's why they're the heroes now. Fuck off. I'm not against women being heroes, but write me a realistic story where a woman could be a hero and not just because she's a woman she gets to be the hero. Because that's stupid to me. Honestly, I don't give a shit if I hurt anybody's feelings because I'm being realistic. When it comes to men and women, there are differences. And if you don't recognize those differences just because you don't like how they sound, then you're an idiot. Let me think of like some girl power movies that were actually done right. Aliens. Sigourney Weaver versus the fucking Queen Alien wearing that robot suit. Fucking awesome. And I know there's a ton of other ones. I mean, like Laura Croft when Angelina Jolie played Laura Croft. I believe it. Yeah. She's a rich bitch with a ton of money, with a ton of resources. Hell yeah, she could do all that shit if she wanted to. Like motherfucking Bruce Wayne. If you're like Jeff Bezos, pretend rich, because I don't actually believe he's that rich. I believe he's the mascot. He's the face. There's like a bunch of other people behind him that have the so-called money that he's reported to have. But if there was such a person like that, and I feel the same way about Elon Musk, I don't think he has that money. I don't know if he's full of shit, just a fucking paid actor or a Freemason, Satanist, or if they're just sort of playing with him, right? Because he's got, like everybody else, he has an ego. He said he has ADHD, which is what I got. Uh, how hard would it be to find a person that has actually memorized all the stupid shit and thinks it makes sense? That would be a perfect person to use as a pawn in your fucking scheme. Like, yes, he's gonna be the new face. because he believes in this bullshit wholeheartedly. He has no idea it's fucking lies. It could be one or the other. He's either ignorant of the facts because he believes in the bullshit so much, or he's playing along because he's actually a bad guy. I have no idea. I've not studied body language. Either one is actually possible. Today, I actually saw. I finished watching two movies. I started maybe 2 days ago. One was a 2018 or 2019 movie starring Johnny Depp called The Professor. I really like that movie. It's kind of like reminiscent of Breaking Bad. I mean, not exactly, but it's about a guy that has terminal cancer and he's sort of dealing with that. Doctor says to him, "You got 6 months to live. You got lung cancer, even though you don't smoke. Go figure." And that's it. And he says, "Okay, and I'm not going to do any of the treatment," which I agree with him. I mean, who the fuck would want to poison themselves to get better? It just seems like the dumbest, stupidest shit in the world. I'd believe more in that you'll get healthy just trying without poisoning yourself. That's the dumbest shit in the world. And yeah, no, I wouldn't. Just let me fucking die and hold on to my senses for the time I have remaining than pump me full of fucking poison and sedatives. Fuck that. Anyways, the professor was good and interesting, but of course, I mean, almost anything with Johnny Depp is going to be a great performance. It's going to be interesting, and that one was. It was interesting. It starts off with his family life. He's got problems with his wife because she's cheating on him with his boss. So that's got to be a kick in the balls. And of course, since he's dying, he handles it with like the highest level of grace. Just like, oh, okay, really? I would have thought you could have done better. Uh, his daughter comes out of the closet and lets them know that she's a lesbian, and the mom doesn't handle it very well. And of course, the guy that's dying, he's fine with it. Yeah, I mean, you're dying. What are you gonna say? Like, what? um, there's the movie has a ton of really cool moments, and I think at the core, it's basically trying to get the message across that you don't know how long you have to live, so try to live it to the fullest. Just be happy, do whatever makes you happy, because it's gonna end. There's maybe a scene or two that I didn't really agree with. I like the ending. The ending is a bullshit ending, all about message, and but it's an interesting and somewhat inspiring message. So I like the ending. It was an all right movie. I kind of started to think about how possibly having done that movie and being that character influenced Johnny Depp and who he was at the time of the Amber Heard trial thing. because the character that I saw in the professor was very similar, oddly similar to the same person or character, I don't know, that Johnny Depp was on trial. Very similar, very similar. You got to watch that movie so you know what I'm talking about. Um, the other movie that I finished was called Glass House. One word, otherwise you won't find it. It was interesting. It didn't explain a whole lot. So you just have to imagine that there's a horrible toxin in the air that has destroyed humanity. Somehow, one family uh, was able to protect themselves from the toxin by sealing up their home, like, I don't know, just perfectly gluing the windows and just putting a bunch of plastic. And I don't know how you could even protect yourself 100% from a toxin in the air that has pretty much changed the world. But you know, suspension of disbelief. Let's just go with it. So this family has a mom, two daughters, a little girl that you later find out is the daughter of one of the daughters, and a brother who was exposed to the gases outside. So now he's kind of, I don't know what the word would be. He's a little slow. He can't really speak very much. His logic isn't really there. He's more of a, and I'm saying this kindly, and if you watch the movie, you'll know that I'm right in my description. He's more of a, like an animal. And I say this because he has urges at times, sexual urges that one of his sisters helps him out with. Yeah. Uh, he also gets mad sometimes. If he remembers something or if something bothers him, he becomes violent. Um, but all in all, you know, he's a good guy and he does try to be helpful with chores, picking stuff up and things. If they go outside, they have to wear these special, I guess, helmets. Except here's the thing. Uh no, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see any like breathing filters, but no, now that I'm thinking about it, I did. Okay. So they wear helmets connected to breathing filters. Okay. And that's when they're gonna tend to the garden. Every once in a while they'll see people wander into their territory and they'll shoot them dead. They'll take them apart, cutting them up, using parts of the anatomy as glue, which is fucked up, and using the remains for ritualistic purposes. Um, they bury them in their garden to, you know, feed their plants and shit, where they get all their vegetables and fruits from. I am not convinced that they weren't also cannibals, but let's say they weren't. They look really healthy to be cannibals. Um, Apparently, there was another brother who had wandered away in order to find other people like themselves. And this brother used to fuck one of his sisters. And the sister that had a daughter. Yeah, that one. Incredibly pretty. So pretty. The actress, I don't know what her name is. I actually looked her up just to see some more pictures of her, but obviously she doesn't look anything like her character. You know, the character in the movie plays it down and just looks amazing. The person in real life, you know, she's wearing every fucking bullshit that's popular, and so she looks like shit to me. I just prefer somebody that's not trying to peacock at all times. Like, fuck that. Like, I understand that people find that interesting and that's why people peacock. I get it. Trust me, I read the fucking game and the mystery method. But, I mean, that might attract you, but will that hold you down? Will that keep you there? I mean, if you're looking for chaos, yeah, you'll love it. But if you're like me and you just want peace, no, you don't want anything to do with that shit. But she was extremely good looking in that movie, and it's funny that she plays the horny character. Anyways, that brother left. What an asshole. I mean, he's got a kid and basically a partner, and he's like, I want to see if there's more people. Why? You want to fuck other people probably. Um and they, I guess they came up with a way to signal each other with like a flashlight so that he could signal back if it's really him and not just a trespasser. And I kind of felt like because the movie just begins with them killing one of these trespassers. I kind of felt like they probably already killed him because they don't give the trespassers much time at all. There's a new guy, a new trespasser. He looks different because he's wearing a gas mask or something like that. He's wearing a breathing apparatus. Um, and the horny sister gives him a chance and actually drags him inside the house. So that's where I guess the movie really begins to. It was an interesting movie. I actually was starting to write a similar, kind of similar, not exactly, not that perverted, a similar screenplay that I wanted to maybe send to a film festival or something. It's still on my to do list. The movie is enjoyable. It's entertaining. It's interesting. So I think if you watch it, you'll enjoy it no matter what, even if you disagree with what happens at the end. I will say this about the end: fucking stupid. It has a nonsense ending that wouldn't actually work, but it's like they didn't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, we're not going to think about the fact that this ending doesn't actually work. It's not like there's going to be a sequel, so we just wanted to make an interesting experience. That's all. But the ending is total bullshit, and if you actually think about it past the fucking credits, you realize that it wouldn't work. The dynamic would not be a happy one. It would be a destroyed one. Um, but then again, they did kind of show some hints at the end of two other people that also die. Um, even if you don't get to see that in the movie, you got to watch it. It's not bad. It's interesting. You won't get much out of it, I think, unless you're a writer. But maybe if you're not a writer, you might actually get more out of it. If you're a writer, it'll give you ideas on how to make it better. And if you're not a writer, you might just be like, whoa, what if? I think either way, you'll be entertained by it. you won't walk away from it changed or anything like that. I think if you want something more memorable and long lasting, I'd say go with Johnny Depp's The Professor. But yeah, they're both interesting. Okay, so it's a weekday, so this should be a short episode. I just wanted y'all to know that. Oh, and I'm playing the new Zelda game. I think it's called Echoes of Wisdom. Not sure. You actually play as Zelda and not Link for the first time in a Zelda game. You're actually playing as Zelda. It's interesting because Zelda's not really a fighter, so she just collects a whole bunch of objects and soldiers that she can use throughout the world, um, or fighters to fight for her. It's interesting. I'm enjoying it, um, but I do miss Link. But it's fine. No big deal. You can actually later on, um, not that later on. It's actually pretty quick in early game. You can get the ability to kind of turn into Link and fight with the sword, which feels a lot better than just sort of conjuring up other things to fight for you. I'm also playing Space Marines 2, and it looks amazing. It's a lot of fun, but it's very repetitive. It's pretty much the same rinse and repeat. Attack, 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 shoot, shoot, attack, attack. Um, it's just pretty enough that it will keep me playing it until I pass the damn game, but it's not engaging enough that I'm motivated to like, oh, I need to know everything about Warhammer. So Warhammer is apparently a game from the 80s. It might be a board game, and there was a Space Marine Warhammer Space Marine 1 game that was released only on I think Xbox. I'm not sure if PC or whatever. Probably. It's apparently a role playing game similar to Dungeons and Dragons. You are a bioengineered, super modified human being. You're kind of a giant. You're almost twice the size of a regular human because you've been enhanced in order to fight off hordes of demons. Sounds pretty cool. Sadly, that storyline was in the first Space Marine game. Why the fuck didn't they remaster that one before releasing the second one? That would have been nice. I would have straight up played that one so I could have enjoyed the second one even more. But no. Oh well. Missed opportunity. The second one, it's fun. Just don't try to play it for a really long time. I played it for a little over an hour the other day on Twitch, and it's okay. Yeah, I'm not like running at the motherfucker to play it again. So I will play it until I beat it, but I'm just not like, oh, I can't wait. On the other hand, there's an older game that I'm playing called Dark Souls, and I'm actually excited to play more on that game than any other game. I own Alan Wake 2 and Black Myth Wukong, which is probably why I'm not motivated to play them, but I want to play them. I want to beat them. I want to those games look like a lot of fun. um I think why I didn't sort of get on it to play them all the way through like I normally would have is the fact that I own them and I don't own some GameFly games. Like I don't own the Zelda, the Space Marine. I didn't own Dark Souls, but I actually returned it because I saw that it was on sale on the PlayStation Store, and I got it. I liked it that much, and even though I own it, I'm still playing it because I like it that much. It's a weird game that pisses me off so much, and yet when I can finally get through whatever the fuck was holding me back, it's a great feeling. It's it's so weird. It's like a fucking abusive relationship where your partner is constantly belittling you or smacking you around, and the one time they say, "Hey, I love you." that's that's how I describe playing Dark Souls. It's an abusive relationship, but you love it. Oh man, I yeah, and I can't wait to beat the first one, and then the second one, and the third one, and then Elden Ring. I still haven't beaten Elden Ring because that motherfucker's so hard. Um, I'm at the final boss in Demon Souls. Like I pussied out because I heard that the guy has a power that can just lower your level, your stats. I'm like, fuck that. But it's been a while, and I can't wait to get back into that one as well. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on there. All right, everybody. I'll uh, I'll see you again. Have a great day. Bye.